guys, Kylo here. This video is kind of a hodgepodge of random stuff, but I thought I would include some paramotor action into the mix. So what are we gonna be talking about? Okay, there was a really messed up time lapse. I just totally shot myself in the foot on that one. I'm gonna chalk it up to early morning and lack of caffeine. I missed the most beautiful sunrise of the year because of it. That's coming up. Man, shit, I came racing out here this morning. I was gonna get like a beautiful time lapse of like some alto cumulus. Can you even see? Oh, I suck at life. They're gone now. Beautiful alto cumulus clouds, sunrise coming up above underneath them. Whole sky was like pink and orange. Before I even made the coffee, I run out here into the frozen tundra of a yard. Well, I pushed the time lapse, I guess, on the way out. And when I got there and set up the tripod and pushed record, I really didn't push record, I pushed stop record. So I come out here an hour later thinking, oh man, I really grabbed a real nice time lapse of the sunrise. That's gonna be amazing and beautiful and all that shit.
Wrong.
That's what the sun was rising on. It was like just patches of pink and orange everywhere. No.
You suck, you jackass.
Fucking suck. Just can't get them all. Then we had, what else was it? What else was in that video? I don't have it's been a couple of days since I started the edit. Oh yeah, we weighed a paramotor to see how much it weighed on our scale over here in the shop. So look here, I got Parajets out the wazoo. I got this unit right here, this Atom 80 Parajet, ready to fly, never had fuel in it. We're gonna throw it up here on these scales and see what it weighs empty. I don't even know what the numbers are they reported. My guess is somewhere in the high 40s. We'll find out. Let's look and see. So all I got on this scale right now is just the ratchet strap I'm gonna hang the motor with, and it's exactly zeroed out. We're gonna weigh this Atom 80 Parajet Maverick and see what's up. We got it hovering off the ground here. It is not touching anything. It's just free floating. And what are we looking at? Okay, let me stop it so that the scale will quit moving. Okay, so it's settled on 49 and a quarter. 49 and a quarter, ladies and gentlemen. I got some new gear I want to show you.
Yeah. Yep.
So in all my 41 and something years, something happened today that's never happened before. I woke up and had no idea that the time changed last night. We're officially in the bright days of spring. Daylight after work. It just straight up snuck me. It just sneak attacked. I mean, if it was a snake, I'd be bit right now. So I was late for school this morning. I jumped ahead, spring forward, my friends. But we are most certainly going to do some uncertified paramotor training this evening. Man, I had no idea that the video that I made about certifications and do you need them would garner so many, it's like it's black or white, like you're wrong or I agree with you. Like there's nobody, and I find myself sort of in the middle of this. Just because I choose not to do certified ratings with an organization doesn't mean I disagree with them altogether. Obviously, there's pros and cons to anything in this world. I've always been a big proponent of that. But at the same time, personally, I don't see any benefit locally for me to do it. I think we're doing everything just fine. We're learning everything the right way. I'm here. I'm here at the airport, and we were about to do some training. We're gonna start out kiting. So it feels a lot later than it is. It says 4 o'clock, but really this is like, yesterday would have been 3 o'clock. What the hell is squeaking? I hear squeaking, it's making me crazy. Made 2 new pilots today. Congratulations, Elijah and Caleb. You guys did great. Even if it was the last legal 10 minutes that we had, you guys rocked it. Elijah set a new record. He was the first student who took his first motor flight on his second day. Had some guys do it on the third day, not the second, not till now. And he was ready. It's not something that we tried to do or that was rushed. In fact, it was brought up to me by one of my other students. He said, I don't think you've had anybody take a motor flight on day 2. We got what we needed in kiting yesterday. We did our hang check and motor exercises today. Talked about technique, did some demoing, and he banged it out like a champion. It was no problem. I think he had one blown launch and then eked out the next one, no problemo. I find that when most people make a mistake, they don't make that mistake again. They just go through their motions, do their thing, and all is well. I'm gonna have a beer and then go to bed. This day has been brought to you by Paramotor gas. Without it, we couldn't go very far for very long. Unless we had a mountain or a tow machine. That's the up, guys. I'm back in a trailer. Call out. Oh, don't hit the fucking pole. Don't hit the pole, you asshole. There we go. I look like I'm drunk. Hell, I may be. Find out. There we go. We're good. We're good. I'm gonna turn the video off now. See y'all later. Paramotor thing that I've got going on today is a couple of days ago I had a new student show up and we took him up on I took him up on a tandem paramotor ride so he could get familiar with flying the machine around. And while we were flying around, or while he was flying me around, the throttle started, choking out a bit, and I was like, you just need to hold the throttle all the way. Don't fluctuate it so much. And he said, I've just had it on full power the whole time. So I realized then we were having some motor problems. I said, let me have it then. And I took the controls back from him and immediately sputtered and choked on me. And I said, okay, we got problems. Let's kill the motor, come in, do a nice landing. So we did, no event. In the meantime, I wanted to know what was going on with the motor. This is the motor that we had the problem with. It's a Moster Silent model year 19. Because it's got this stupid ass airbox that hides the carburetor, makes it impossible to get into. The little grommet that was inside of here that goes on to the little nipple, it broke. Like after just a few months, it broke, and I just took a daub of silicone and squirted it in there and glued it on, and it held just fine. Until I had to take it off to take the carburetor off because I thought that was the problem. So there's two stories going on here at once. I'm gonna replace this with a custom made plug, and I didn't film the first part of the process, but I'm gonna show you what I did there. But it wasn't the carburetor. We took the carburetor apart. I did a little surgery on it with some students, showed them what it was like to break into the carb, check all the diaphragms and orifices and jets and all these things. And the carburetor looked really good. There was a tiny bit of particulates in there. And we're talking stuff that's so small that it would have just traversed. It didn't impede the function of the carburetor. Nonetheless, I cleaned all the little junk out and I decided that the carburetor was fine. And so we put it back on, ran the engine again, same thing. It was sputtering out and cutting out and it definitely sounded like carburation. We took the spark plug out. It was running very, very lean. Tells you that there's a fuel problem, all right? Now, obviously we knew carburation. So the point of a carburetor is to do two things. It does one thing, really. It mixes the gas and the oil. Why can't I talk? What's wrong with me? Why do I have to not be able to speak English? I just want to speak English on YouTube so people can understand me sometimes. The point of a carburetor, at least on a paramotor in this situation, is to mix the gas and oil with air and combine those two in the correct ratios for combustion. That's the piston moving up and down, in case you didn't know what this was. That's the motion your piston makes inside your paramotor. Point of the carburetor is to mix the gas with the air and deliver that into the crank, and then it gets sucked up into the head and then it burns and moves the piston. Turns out that we checked the fuel delivery, and at the bottom of the tank there is something called a clunk, and the clunk was completely stopped up and it was impeding almost all the fuel flow into the carburetor. It was enough that after you ran it at full power for a few seconds, it would choke out, stop the fuel from being delivered, lose power, and also run lean. So we did a couple of things. We reset the adjustments on the carburetor to factory settings, And I took the clunk apart and cleared out all the blockages and put it back in the tank. The motor now runs 100%. But when I went to put the airbox back on, the connection for the airbox that I was just describing, well, it didn't work so well. So I painted some mold release and I took some silicone and I just blotted it on there, and we're gonna make a silicone plug to replace that rubber grommet that goes inside the airbox so that we can stick it back on our carburetor. And I've done that already, and the silicone dried overnight, and here it is the next day. And after I get this thing back on, this motor should be running tip-top, good as new again. So this is what we're working with right here. I just put a piece of tape and stuck this aluminum on there, and we're going to pop this off. Boop. There's our new thing. That's going to go over that nipple like that. Oh yeah, it bites on there just right. I'll pop it off. I also put mold release inside. This is just a little piece of tube here. So we've got this. We need to push it. Oh, is it still wet in there? Gosh damn it. It's still wet in there. Oh, that kind of sucks. It kind of sucks. We got silicone all over me. Let's see if we can get this out of here. Oh, that really bites that this stuff didn't dry. I gave it 24 hours. I guess it needs more air. It needed more days. I don't know. I can't even push it out of here. How nasty. I got silicone all over my fingers. Can't even get that stupid thing out. So that was gonna be my silicone plug. Still might can use it a little bit. Like, it does have the shape, but it fits inside of this hole, like almost the same size. And that was kind of the objective here, was to get that in there, and then I was gonna glue this inside of that. Now that I got this stuff all over me, might as well just put it back on here. I'm gonna have to start this over. Let's cut it here. I can't even touch the camera because my hands are covered in silicone. Let me get cleaned up. I'll get right back with you. Yeah, so forgive the middle of the night, a dark shot of vlog. Is this thing even working? How am I doing? Oh, I suck. Vlogger, I've been doing it for years. You'd think I could by now. Hello there, Kylo here. Been training, guys. I've been making pilots instead of videos, and things have slowed down on the video making front because of that fact. Not the biggest deal, but that's what's going on. I thought I would share it. The weather is great. Knocking out new pilots left and right. Dragging this para-trailer everywhere I go. Today was a big day. I had a big day at work at the drugstore, and I had a big day of work out at the field. I don't need to crash into the shop. Got to do a repair on the paramotor here. I've got... Oh, I just knocked... Fucking fuck. I have a prescription delivery that I forgot to make. You know, I didn't want to do a video about, bitching about my day again. I think I did that the other day. Today was one of those days where, I woke up, I was almost late for work, had to rush my shower, brush my teeth as I run out the door. Jen was late. She didn't make coffee, so I didn't have my coffee. So I'm like headed to work in zombie gear. I got there and it's just a rough day. All the hard customers came in at once. Had to make a lot of phone calls and do a lot of shuffling to get the prescriptions filled. Short a couple employees, flu's in town, so we've been dealing with employee shortages due to sickness the last month or two. I was one of them. I was gone for a week being sick. It's just the nature of this, we didn't get the coronavirus yet, I don't guess. Had a headache all day, so maybe I do. Maybe that's what's going on. But this wasn't a bitch about my day kind of thing, but I straight up forgot to make this delivery, and I'm finna have to turn around and go right back to town to do it. All's well that ends well. Let me do that. With the magic of editing, we will appear in the shop now. All right. I got the drugs delivered. Everyone's happy. All is saved. So let's see how this stuff's set up here. I just took the silicone mold that I totally messed up last night and pushed it back on there and filled in some silicone, and let's see how it worked. Ooh, makes a nice suction. I like that. And it pops on good, so yeah, there we go. There's my new little stopper. Remove that. So the sealant is it's gotten completely hard. It's, oh my Jesus. It's completely cured, like in the top part of the tube. So I cut the end off the bottom and it's coming out there. And I'm just gonna make sure that I get plenty inside of this hole. I'm gonna make sure I get it all up in that hole. Fuck, why does it always have to sound like some kind of porno? So I'm gonna put the silicone inside of here, like so. And I'm gonna make sure there's enough that when it cures, it's gonna make a really good plug. I don't want it to come loose from here, so I'm gonna make sure it's got plenty inside and out, just like that. And I'm also gonna add some more around here, just so it all adheres to each other. This is gonna keep it from falling out. It's hard to do this and hold a camera at the same time. If I was a real video maker, I'd probably set up a tripod or something.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I just did the entire thing while holding the camera and filming. And when I went to stop filming, I realized that I was not filming, that I was just holding the camera and pointing it at what I was doing. So yeah, the gist of it is I just took the airbox and I pushed it down onto the little piece that I made, and I made sure that this part was how I liked it. And so I'm gonna let it cure. I'm gonna tighten up the airbox and I'm just gonna let the silicone cure overnight, next day or two. And then I got into a test run. It should hold pretty tight. Last time I just put it on there without any mold release at all and it did fine. So I did it a little different this time, kind of a two-stage process, but I think it's gonna work no problem. And the next time I pull this airbox off, it's just gonna pop right off and I can pop it right on. I'm gonna let all this cure and we'll look at it again in a day or two, and maybe I can make a video about this. We shall see. For now, I'm gonna tighten this airbox up, and I'm really tired, and I'm gonna go inside and lay up and maybe make a video. I might go do a little editing. Maybe I'll make this video. That might be a thing. I do have some footage stacked up, so I may get to that. Hope you enjoyed it. Consider giving the video a thumbs up if you did. A thumbs down if you always buy a brand new part from the manufacturer and you never try to make your own stuff. Yeah. Thumbs down for that. Much love, everybody. Kyle out.